Hey, Wild Souls. So it's now the evening of the full moon and the lunar eclipse here in March 25th. And I have my notes from my God box all ready to go. And these are the things that I am releasing specifically right now. And they're bigger than usual. They are the things that I've noticed in this last week that have kept me stuck in older stories. They're the tapes that have played through my head that I don't want to play anymore. I'm done with this. And I've had a really relaxing evening, kind of another low energy day, and I ended it with my favorite thing, an Epsom salt, an essential oil bath. So now it's dark and I'm out here, and it's the last thing I'm doing before I tuck myself into bed. And as I was soaking in my tubby, doing some meditation and alignment because I love water, I was thinking about the Bible story about Lot and his wife. I've thought about this a lot over the years, and they're fleeing the city, and she turns into a pillar of salt. And I always thought that wasn't really that fair. I mean, like, you think about it, it's like, well, why did she have to turn into a pillar of salt? Like, I'm lighting my stuff, sorry. My light's out. Why did she have to turn into a pillar of salt? Like, didn't she just miss? Like, I always thought, like, well, I was kind of rude. But as I was thinking about that story, I was like, isn't that what we do when we don't let go of the past? It's not that we actually turn into a pillar of salt, of course. I don't consider myself a Christian anymore, although I do feel like I am well versed in the Bible, and so I can still glean insight from it because it's in my brain, and I think that Spirit teaches you through everything. So I don't think it's so much that she turned to an actual pillar of salt. I think she quit living. I think it was that point where she couldn't not look back. She couldn't accept what was going forward. Of course, there's all sorts of arguments that she didn't really have a choice. She was property, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about, can we look at this from our perspective when we refuse to allow the changes that are happening in our life, when we refuse to accept our role, our part, when we play those victim stories over and over again, and how much better things were in the past. We turn to a pillar of salt, we stop living. So, what are you going to release tonight? Where are you going to let go? I know myself and so many of my friends are just going through some painful things where between friendships or, unrecognized anger or bitterness or even compassion, where you don't need to be having compassion anymore. It's no longer serving you to lend that energy to people who haven't deserved it in your life, who don't return it. So anyway, just some thoughts this evening. Don't turn into a pillar of salt. Don't stop living. Keep living. Release. Good night, Wild Souls.